afternoon. We are meeting up again. My name is Dr. Wong Pek Wee. I'm a consultant cardiologist. Today, I have a very special friend and a speaker whose name is called Mr. Lee Yee Seng. He is the president of the Malaysia Lysosomal Disease. Short form is MLDA. Professionally, he's a power electrical engineer working with a utility company in Malaysia. Mr. Lee is also the father of 3 children, and 2 of whom are afflicted by POMPE disease. This is a disease that I read when I was a medical student. I've never met any patient with this condition. It's a rare disease in the Lysosomal Storage Disease group. In May 2011, Mr. Lee, together with other parents whose children have lysosomal disease, decided to form an association as they felt that they were the best advocates for their children. In October 2011, the Malaysia Lysosomal Disease Association was officially launched. This small band of advocates have made great headway in bringing rare diseases to the attention of policymakers, the media, and the healthcare providers. At the age of 48, Lee's exuberance in sharing his life experience, joys, and sorrows. In 2014, he was awarded My Hero Award in Malaysia. The treatment for the POMPE disease is expensive and is not readily affordable by everyone. However, Mr. Lee feels strongly that the dignity of life should be respected, the ethical principle of autonomy. The challenge may be uphill task, but its cause is championed by people who have the heart of compassion to move mountains for even one child to receive the gift of a new life. The human will is an extraordinary mechanism, and Lee's own experience with his daughters overcoming POMPE is really a message of hope to all of us. And we hope medical doctors and the healthcare professional have more awareness of this condition and some of the other rare diseases so that we can help our patient. So with that introduction, I invite Mr. Lee Yee Seng to talk about his journey. So give me a few seconds to share his slides. Okay, Mr. Lee, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Wong. Good afternoon to all the doctors in Malaysia. Okay, today I want to share the journey of lysosomal storage disease patient in Malaysia. Okay, so this is the, if you can see, these are diseases which they appeared about a few years ago in our in one of our initiative for the oil painting. All right. So with the theme of batik, so that even despite even though they have this disease, but they still can live as colorful, as it could be. All right. So, doctor, can I move to the next slide? Next slide, please.
You continue to talk, my computer hang. I will try to move to the next slide.
Okay. So actually our journey started in 2011. So it was on the April 1st, which we established Malaysia Lysosomal Storage Disease. I received a phone call from physicians with lysosomal storage disease. They are in the waiting list, meaning that they have to wait for the budget from the government, because the budget to treat the children with lysosomal storage is about, on the average, actually, it's about 1 million per child per year. Basically, there are about 50 types of LSD in the world so far has been identified. On overall, the rare we have about 8,000 of type of rare diseases in the world. So for the past 10-20 years, we can see the advancement of these medical drugs, And one of them, the one who managed to break through, is actually to treat this lysosomal storage disease children with this enzyme replacement therapy. So it was an amazing journey that I would like to share with all of you. So among some of the most, what they call common of LSD, Fabry disease, Gaucher disease, and we have MLD, Niemann-Pick, POMPE, and MPS. All right. Next slide, please. So basically, lysosome is a recycling plant inside the cell because the missing of enzyme, all right, due to the autosomal recessive. And some other case are X-linked, all right. So the child will be having these disorders. So basically the waste inside the cell it could not be what they call execute. It keep on accumulated because the lacking of that enzyme, which eventually it will damage the multiple organs, right? Multiple organs that will manifested over the years. Initially the newborn baby, they are perfectly normal. So that's why today I want to share with doctors so that every doctors in Malaysia can help to identify and give a prompt diagnosis so that more of them could be diagnosed earlier and we can treat them earlier. Because the early intervention is the key so that their life expectancy could be prolonged, all right? Next slide, please. Okay, the most common is type of LSD is actually mucopolysaccharidosis, or what we call the short name is called MPS. So basically, these patients they will have these all these symptoms as you can see, right? Most of them they have this hernia, then they have a very thick eyebrow, and then they have very coarse features, all right? And their hand, most of them are crooked, and they can't even when the disease becomes severe, they can't even what they call button or unbutton their shirts, right? They can't even, if their backside is itchy, they have to look for a pole or the wall, to scratch their itchy back. So that's because their joints actually are very stiff, they couldn't turn their hands. About 50% of our children are all MPS. Even in Southeast Asia, most of these LSD, they are from MPS family. So mucopolysaccharidosis means it's a long chain of sugar that couldn't be break down by certain enzyme. So far, and these MPS, they got many subtypes. I think about 6 to 7. They have type 1, type 2, type 3. Even type 3 also, San Filippo also got three subtypes, got type 1, MPS 3, 3A, 3B, and 3C. And also another one is Mokyo, which is MPS type 4. They've got 4A and 4B. Then we have MPS type 6, type 7, and type 9. So even this MPS alone, they got about more than 10 variants, right? And each type of them, actually, they are lacking of different type of enzyme. So far for MPS, the treatment available is only through enzyme replacement therapy, which is only available for patients with MPS type 1, type 2, which is a Hunter disease. With Hunter disease is the most common one because it's X-linked, because it's the mom will, if they give birth to a boy, definitely the boy will sure become the patients. Because this is that's why most of our children is for MPS family, they are type 2, which is more prominent. Then we have type 3, very sad, with neuro involvement, but they do not have any cure yet. And type 4 is Vimizim. The drug was available about 2014. Then we have type 6. The drug, I think, is called Neglazine. And the rest, type 7 also have. Type 7 or Coswise syndrome. Drugs also available, but it's very, very expensive because it's ultra rare. Okay, this is about MPS. Next.
The slide stop again. You continue talking. Let me work on it.
Okay. So MPS, actually, even each type of them, their challenge also be all very different. Like type 4, they have knock knee. Their knee is actually knocking each other, which they have to undergone these knee surgeries about 2 times. As they grow, their what they call their bones of their leg actually, which they grow in is not in what they call in parallel. So the outer bone will grow much faster. That's why they have this knock knee syndrome, which they have to undergone. If they don't do it, then they have this mobility issue. Eventually, they will be on wheelchair bound. You see, those patients actually with this enzyme replacement therapy, they could walk longer, which is less tired, and they can have a better quality of life, right? Okay. So a few years ago, we have this hunt for hunter syndrome, where we do all those genetic screening, so that we educate the mom, the mother, if they have this daughter, we tell that we get the screening on the daughter, so that they will not pass. When they want to have a newborn, new birth, they will be more cautious, right? If they are the carrier, right? Okay, the second disease that I want to share is Gaucher disease. So basically, the most prominent symptom is the inflated tummy due to the enzyme missing to what we call to process the lipid inside the liver. So this enzyme is missing. That's why the accumulation of what we call the waste, right? So eventually becomes actually this liver is expanding, that's why the tummy looks very big, We have about few patients in Malaysia also have this. So it's quite easy to identify because this is the first symptom. And of course, ERT, because Cerezyme, this drug has been in the market for the last 20 years and it's proven very effective. But of course, they have to go through they have to undergone this ERT on bi-weekly basis, and some of them they can enjoy a very normal life, after this treatment, right? Normally, this disease only happen on Jews. Jews, they have very close marriage, so that's why they have it's more prominent in the Jews recall, in that trial. Okay, next.
It's stuck again. You continue.
Okay. Actually, the next one I want to say is about my daughter. I have 2 daughters with this Lysosomal Storage Disease. There's another family called POMPE Disease. POMPE Disease is also called glycogen storage type 2. Okay. Type 2, they are lacking of what they call alpha glucosidase, what they call enzyme to break down the glycogen inside the lysosome. So what happens is the glycogen, they cannot be converted to ATP, the energy. That's why my daughters, both of my daughters, they were diagnosed in 2006, all right? This drug is called myozyme. So if you want to know more, you can look at the Harrison Ford movie. It's called Extraordinary Measure, all right? So Harrison Ford acting his the scientist who invented this drug. This drug took them about 15 years to develop. Because POMPE patients, they are they are very weak. Their muscle tone are very, very weak. Okay, among one of it got three types. The first is the infant type, which is they happen at the early stage. So this is a very acute one. Okay, and then another type is called juvenile. So it happened at a teenage, Suddenly at the age of 16 years old, the patient collapsed and went to the UMC, don't know what happened, in then intubated. And then after that, you need to depend on the ventilator. So we have patients like that. And of course, also we have late onset. Late onset means it could happen at the age of 40 over, By 40 over, not only people diagnosed, A lot of these Dutch patients, that's I seen before. At the Netherlands, there's quite a lot of these adult patients. So normally patients with adult it's difficult to get the treatment because they say, oh, you are so old already. No need to treat lah. Why I waste 1 million? Comparatively, for baby, it's much easier because baby, more kesian. And I think for the last 10 over years, I've seen a lot of baby also, they couldn't make it. We rescue them, we spend 30,000 to buy the drugs for the first 3 months. They also cannot make it because it's too late, you see. So they call it the spectrum for LAC disease. There are some of them, they're quite wide. Because some of the conditions are very mild, some of them are very serious. Those serious cases is due to the gene mutation, which is, I believe, that's why I can see it. I think doctors will know more. It's due to deletion. So, like my youngest daughter, her condition is more severe. So because her mutation is deletion. Whereby my eldest daughter, her condition is bit mild. Because her condition is, the genetic is actually called swap, right? The swapping. So that is how I understand, right? So for POMPE patients, they have this enlarged heart, the heart is very, eventually their heart normally becomes triple the size, double the size, the pumping very difficult. So they have bluish, they can't climb the staircase, they have to pull their hand, like a lot. It's very like old grandma, they're very young. A lot of people, they don't know, and they have some scoliosis problems, like so that is a symptom. Some of them, they also have what you call fat tongue, then they have hypotonia, weak muscle. So for baby, it's quite tough. That's why most of the infant type, they couldn't make it through. So for my daughters, they have been diagnosed in 2006, and after that, they get the treatment. Until now, they're okay. They're okay. They're still sustained. Okay, move to the next slide. Okay, so this is my 3 siblings. This is at a very young age. Now, my eldest daughter already 22 years old. My youngest daughter already 18 years old. So actually what happened is the younger daughter, as you can see, she can't even stand, when I took this photo in 2006. But after the few months of ERT, cancer replacement therapy, she can start walking. Of course, it's not that strong, but actually after problem, actually can see the efficacy of this myozyme, tremendously for not until they reach to the age of puberty, suddenly when their mass of the weight become more, actually they need more enzyme, right? And that's the time that the budget is not enough. Then they need more because this drug also not 100% efficacy. The efficacy is not 100%. Overseas they are doing double dose. In USA, some of the patients they give quadruple dose. My God, it's 4 million per year, man. So we do not have, because I have this insurance for reimbursed policy in the United States. Not until today. I think today there's enzyme which is new. It's called Next enzyme. It's a version 2. So we are now also working towards the transition to the new drug, which is more effective. But to my 2 daughters, actually they are already wheelchair bound, so it's a bit sad They already lost their mobility, but that's a challenge, right? That's a challenge in our life, but the life still need to move on, right? Okay, next. Okay, so I just want to share with everyone. This is a slide that I prepared for Dr. Wong last year. So now actually our total number of patients is almost about 100, right? Throughout the entire nations. About 30 overs has passed away. So because even though some of them, they pass away it could be due to pneumonia, due to a clamp stuck in their throat. They just pass away, like there, for some of the patients. So people, the patient come and go. So it's a bit sad lah. But over the years, we have seen the numbers of patients has been growing lah. All right, next. Okay, this is the tabulation of the type of headway. So if you see MPS type 2, that's the most prominent one with 38%. The next is POMPE disease, 18%. Then the next one is MPS 4, 9%. MPS 1 is 10%. Others is Gaucher. And we have another type, it's called NCL. Okay, there's so many actually. Many of them also majority also without the treatment yet lah. So okay, next. So this is the summary lah of the total number of patients. Actually, 51% already getting the full reimbursement from the government, which is very good. We are very thankful because Malaysia is among the Southeast Asia country that I think the first one who reimburse in terms of their what they call for all these patients. Other nations, Singapore also having the mechanism to help them because they have this. They are also coming up, but Malaysia is the first one. No? Okay. So the rest, we only have 33% now in the waiting list. It's not many lah. But we believe with the current government, with this year government, they already increased the rare disease budget to another 5 million. So we believe all will be treated by this year. All right. Next. Okay, just to stay on our journey. So our soft launch was in 2011 with the blessing from Taiwan ambassador because I have a very good friend, our Virginia. She's the MPS president in Taiwan. So that year, so happened, she came and visit us with a group of patient support from Taiwan. That's why our kickstart is very special. Then we have subsequently with Dr. Azmi to launch our what we call society in 2012. In 2013, we started to spread our awareness through this IJM S2 half marathon run. So they have been helping us every year actually. So for this year, they are going to organize their run again after COVID. They stopped for 2 years. So we were so lucky they are helping us. So the event is on the first week of August. So if you want to support us, you can join. You can join us and you can meet up with us in the Seremban. Okay. So actually throughout our journey, we get a lot of support from corporates because they know our journey is not easy. Okay, next. So in 2014, we have our second charity dinner with what they call because we have our first book. Our first book is called Hope. So if you want to know more about Hope, you can purchase from us lah. All right. We have our 2 books about which describe about our journey. So this book, actually, the first book we sent to all the member parliament. We bring our issue to parliament. That's why we got this special allocation from Health Minister Dr. Sri Subramanian at that time. So we got the 2 million in 2014 when we did this charity dinner. DYNM Tuanku Mukris gracefully opened our what we call event. We were very busy that year, but it's very challenging. But that's the first time I think since our inception in 2011 we get 0 allocation. This is the year that the government start to increase the budget, 2 million, right? With this 2 million, then we help to treat 7 patients because we call for tender. It's like, you buy some drug, also you free some drug. But after that, this money is actually coming to direct donate, what they call, the grant is actually for MOH to us. So it become it's another burden but we cannot we already right on the tiger, we cannot come down, that's how Chinese proverb say. So we have to go ahead. So we procure and we started the treatment. By the time the drugs finished in 2016, so we were stuck actually. We were stuck because we do not know what to do. So along the way, if you look at the slide in 2015, we continue to get, what we do go fundraising, we do all helping by all the what we call the good Samaritans around my network. So people are helping us. We continue to raise funds, but it's never enough, because like 2 million, how to raise that kind of big fund. That's why in 2016 we do again, because we want to continue for that 7 patients. That time we are very pressured, we are very stressed, because when we apply back with the authority, we couldn't get a response. So in our 2016 dinner, luckily the what they call the officer from the health ministry, she came and she saw how the patient performance, piano, singing, and then that is the night what they call MOH over for the 7 patients. Then it's a big relief for us because the money that we can raise actually is not much. We can merely raise about 200 to 300,000 on that night. It's never enough. So this is the journey until 2016, where we're getting the help from the AC on that year. All right, next. So in 2017, we used the 500,000 grant allocated by MOH to do this Hunt for Hunter program. Hunter syndrome is MPS type 2. So we do the screening for all the potential carrier. So we spent about few years to use up the budget. And so we detected the carriers and we empower them with knowledge so that they can prevent the tragedy from happening in their next what they call generation, right? And then subsequently in 2018, we were lucky to get the support from the Barisan Nasional before they collapsed. So our ex-prime ministers, Dr. Sri Najib allocated 10 million. They announced in the budget on that year and to treat specifically for 10 patients. So this is another remarkable journey in our fighting journey. In 2018, we got a lot of about 10 patients getting treatment. Of course, when more patients getting treatment, there are more chances to live better. And in 2019, we continue to raise the awareness with what they call Pakatan Harapan government, because Dr. Sri Zulkifli, all right, I think he allocated 6 million under the Pakatan Harapan. They abide their manifesto. So that is that's why the budget is keep on increasing from year to year. That year we celebrate Run for Rare at in cooperation with Sunway Medical Center, right? And that year also, if you look at the photo, that is the Bankia for rare disease. They call it 5-year strategic plan. MOH also started to recognize rare disease is the national issue, and it's time to start doing something. It's not that because the patients are rare, then you don't need to do anything. Actually, when we go to overseas, you can see how advanced country they are doing the registry, the label, they recognize where are these people. So they do like tagging. Actually, tagging is very important because that is how they can track where is this patient, and that is how they put in the control. So if we never have this registry, then amount without control, totally without control. So in the registry, we were told MOH is doing it, but so far we haven't seen it yet. So we're still hoping it to materialize. Next. So in 2020, that is the year we are having this pandemic, right? But before that pandemic, we managed to get more helpers. Like this one, we get OG. They sponsored for 53 members with their drivers. Then in 2021, that is the year of under the MCO, the Puchong Rider Club, the philanthropist, Mr. Wong Pao San is the chairman from Puchong Rider Club. They cannot play golf, but they have this product called the Rainbow Multigrain. So we raised about 31,000 from that initiative. And in 2022, we raised fund. We continue to raise fund by cycling activity, which is called Mitu Challenge. So we managed to raise 100,000 for this Tabung Amanah. Tabung Amanah is a trust fund put under the HTA, Hospital Tuanku Aziza. From the most recent budget table by Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim, I read from the budget, the paper is like they said is tax exempted. So actually for the last 2 years we have been what we call working together with MOH. We've been telling them when you want to do this trust fund, it must be transparent. It got to be tax exempted. If possible, do a grant matching. And then we have been telling them try to benchmark with this Singapore. Singapore have this rare disease fund, RDF. If you type RDF Singapore, you can see everything. It's very transparent. They see the structure, the account, the donation is very easy, it's seamless. It's very easy. At least they have tax exemption. So what happened is last year we raised 100,000, but we haven't donated yet actually because we want all these things to happen. Hopefully, with the government will announce this in the future. The next few months, maybe we can see this, the announcement. Because a lot of what they call taboo, government they're very afraid, this tabung will eventually become like the tabung last time under the party politics that everyone don't know where the money goes, So this is their fear, but because these are the issues that we already highlighted in the parliament for so many times, and the answer is always government is creating for this tabung. So when we ask for money, they ask, your money, you don't have budget, but the money is inside the tabung. That's why we as an NGO, we can ask people to donate, but we also hope this tabung will be more transparent. This transparency is very, very critical, it's very important. But now we are still hoping this thing will move to the record. Things will become better and better, right? Okay, next. So just want to share some of the issues faced by patients. They have most of these patients they have undergone multiple challenges. They always sick. If without treatment, they always sick, You can always see their running nose, If without all this enzyme, the nose is running nose like 24 hours, some of these MPS patients, right? And some of them, if they are not getting the treatment, they will eventually become mentally compromised. That's why we need early, diagnosis, all right? And need more social support. So the challenge is 90% we know all these diseases are no cure, right? And even with this drug also is good only able to sustain for their life. But for others is why I'm doing all this activity, because to be able to continue to live with my daughter and whatever good things you go back to them. That is my belief, so that we can continue to make this world to be a better place to stay. All right, next.
The slide is stuck. We will continue.
Okay. The late diagnosis is still the main problem actually for all these children. Because I have seen some of these children, like let's say POMPE disease in Taiwan, because they have this newborn screening, they have been treated with this ERT since a few weeks in their life. So when they grown up, they can grow like a normal people. You can't even differentiate, right? So there's like early treatment really can change life, right? So what we do, so the funds that actually we collected each year, we give 150 ringgit lah for the poor family patients. Some of them, they are so poor. There's one family in Sarawak, so the father is a fisherman. They need to ride, to ride on the boat. After that, take a taxi. Actually, we have to, on special case, by case basis, we have to absorb all their transportation costs. So because some of them, they're really, really poor. So the money that we collected is to help them to make sure they send their children to the hospital. All right. All right, next one is then of course yearly subsidy. So yearly subsidy, initially we granted 1,500 to every child for them to claim to buy their diapers, to pay for their school fees, to pay for their traveling fees, their phone, whatever fees they want to claim for that child. So but from this year onward, we upgrade the claim to 1,800. So for these two subsidies alone, we are expecting to spend about 200,000 every year. Because I think now we have to take care of about 100 active children under our care. Okay, next. Of course, we also give prenatal screening incentive. So those with conceptions, then we have to help them to pay for this screening, where they absorb all the costs. But recently, we have few cases very sad because the UMC last time they had this very experienced gynae. This she can, I think maybe some of you all know you need to go inside the wombs to extract what they call the sample. Then you can send for the genetic screening to see if this child is having this disease. So the problem is after this doctor retired, there's no successor. So the moment that because of all this delay, when the mother know they get the result, it's already 5 months. So 5 months we cannot go for abortion already. So recently we got two cases. I mean when they give newborn, still having this having the child with this LSD. So this is something that I also become very helpless. So I hope more physicians can help us. All right, next. We have this preventive pregnancy incentive for mother, who do abortions, right? Some they have abortion, but they have trauma for the subsequent years because it's something that very bad. And then of course bereavement payment 500 ringgit that we allocated for all these patients. Next. So some of the children, if they are really can go and study, we will give them, we subsidize their education funds on cost sharing basis. We pay a certain portion to share the what they call the patients family burdens. And in terms of medical subsistence, we will allocate whatever money that they require, so like the common needs BiPAP, so we'll buy and we just give to the so-called loan now. We'll loan to the patient, let them use until the machine need to be changed. We'll buy whatever they call equipment to make their life better. And then this 34, the next one, just on the slide is some of the time we will procure enzyme to kickstart the enzyme replacement therapy. For the first 3 months, we will kickstart first. And then the next 9 months, the drug company will take over on compassionate basis. So I think for the last 5 years, we have been doing this because the last 5 years, sometimes the money not enough, the budget not enough, so we kickstart first. So, but we cannot pay a lot, but we will do our best, whatever we can. So patient normally will pay about 10%, we will subsidize the 90%. All right, okay, next. So these are the assistance that we are giving to our patients. This is only happening in 2022. I think you all can read through. So whatever we do, sometimes our machinery also we will pass after the one patient pass away, we will keep in our store to wait for the next patient. So that's why we will pass around. But maybe in the future we will loan the machinery instead because to keep the machinery also sometimes if you get what they call aging problem also if it's not used. Okay. So these are the things that we do. Just now when I say whatever they need, we give. Whatever they want, we will give We never say no but because we still can do it So thankfully, with all the donation, the fundraising activities that we do, we have that kind of capacity to help them. That's what we can do to share the what they call. Because not everyone they can get the help from the Jabatan Kebajikan because sometimes you need to wait for months, right? That's how we come in to help, right? This is our hope. Our first book that actually this hope is actually helping save a lot of the children in Malaysia. Because we sent to all the member parliament in 2014. So this book is telling the story of 26 patients. And this is the book that actually we sent to Tuanku also. That's why Tuanku, after he read this book, he wanted to come. Right. So this is really our what they call the first book, which is really truly life-saving. Right. Thanks. Next. Okay, this is the rare disease budget allocated by Malaysia government. That is what we capture. All right. So far we have about 28 million. But of course, that's how we understand. So all the budget is under Hospital Kuala Lumpur. It's not only for LSD, but it's also for other type of disease, or the inborn error of metabolism. You have many other type of rare disorder also. So every other disease also covered under this budget, right? So this is our achievement in 2019 with our ex-health minister, the Dr. Sri Zulkifli. We have so this is also a continuous event efforts. I think this is the first running event that we did, and we can see the impact. We can see the impact that we keep the thing moving. What we understand is no matter how tough the journey is happen to our children, but we cannot never give up our hope. So we have to continue to do this what we call awareness campaign to move on, right? Okay, this is our another big fundraising event we call Paris Breast Paris, which we cycle 1,200 kilometer. Because this year also we are going to repeat. This year we have about 60 what they call Malaysian riders, and then now we are doing the same. Then our group now is growing. If any doctors here, you are cyclists also, you can you can become our friends of hope. Because we are going to Paris again in August. Today I'm doing what they call a Ricky ride in Kluang. Actually now I'm Kluang KFC. So I just finished the ride with the Batu Pahat cycling cycling club, about 15 of them. So we are planning to have what I call charity fundraising locally, because we want to celebrate our what I call our efforts in PBP. So that's why we want to repeat. So this is a national rare disease committee that set up in 2019. So we hope the government will continue to push for this effort. All right. Then we have the workshop. All right, maybe some of these faces you are quite familiar. Okay, next. So our hope and aspiration is to, okay, Doctor, can you click? We hope that our kids will continue to be having the same fighting chance for normal life. Despite they have this disease, but they still can go to school, you know. They can have a normal life as normal as it is. Right. That is what we hope. So in order to make this possible, we need the, physicians, we need the doctors to come in to give early diagnosis. That's why we have this, today we have this record sharing session so that you understand us better, right? Also, we beside the physician, because if physician is not supporting us, there's no key, there's no way to have what they call a chance for these children to stay alive. So I really want to thank to the doctors that's supporting our journey all this while, because I know it's never easy. Because now the new disease, some of the new disease become very expensive. It could be, few millions every year, So because technology advancement is coming very fast. How the government going to negotiate with the pharma? So that's why we need more willpower to make this thing happen. Because if without physicians and payer means the government or the funding mechanism, maybe it could be the deal with the tabung amanah, and with the industry is the pharma. The pharma also must come in to reduce the cost. Like for developed country, because we are still not advanced country yet, so the pricing should be lower. It cannot be same price like the European and the US, Like China last year, China is a communist country because the government is communist. So they negotiate with 70 to 80 drug company. You want to sell your drug in China, reduce your price. They negotiate, I think, take about 1 or 2 years. Eventually, they reduce overall at 70%. That's why all this actually is the solution is possible. And if you really want to make things happen, it could happen, all right? So our appeal today is as a role of doctors, so to support our cause so that to ensure every man, women with these treatable genetic diseases can retain their right for a chance of a normal life, right? This is the photo for some of our children, under our care, right? Okay. Okay, this is just now the one that I shared this year. Okay, the upcoming event will be this we call it Right We Hope campaign. All right, so you can go to our Facebook called Right We Hope 2.0. From there you can see our updates. Another page you can see is Malaysia. This is our official FB page. So you can see the updates from there. Okay, you can. And of course, if you want to support us, this is our QR code for donations. You can help together to share with us when you join our running event in August in Seremban, or our next cycling event in Kluang. You can help us to create more awareness. With that, thank you. With my all my sharing, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. I think we'll go straight to Q&A in the interest of time. So I want to ask you, who are the manufacturer of this enzyme replacement therapy? Are there many companies or only one company?
Okay, so far we have very few. The The first one is Sanofi's enzyme, right? Sanofi is a French company. So they acquired this enzyme. The enzyme last time was based in United States in Cambridge. So it was acquired by Sanofi a couple of years ago. Okay, like my daughter's POMPE disease enzyme is manufactured by them. So normally, okay, another company is called Biomarine. It's a US company. They're selling these MPS drugs. Few types of MPS, all right? MPS 1, MPS 4, and MPS 6. Okay, that is a product. And another one is Ultragenics, all right? Ultragenics, they only have one drug, which is MPS 5/7 splice syndrome. So and then there's another Korean company is called Green Cross. So their enzyme is for it's called hunterase. It's for MPS type 2. So they are competitors with Sanofi's enzyme also, which is very illustrative. So they are only very few only in the market. Not many.
And
because
then
there's no
my question for you is that what is the cost per child for 1 whole year of treating this condition called POMPE?
Actually, it depend on the weight of the patients. The weight you decide the numbers of vials that you need to be given, right? So on the average, it could be about, like my daughter is about 1 million, because their weight is about 30 kilogram only. So it's about 1 million per year.
Okay.
But if it's a baby, it could be 300,000. And depend on what type of drug also.
Okay, so a $1 million ringgit cost of treating is not the normal cost that any family can afford. And looking at your chart, the amount that the government has contributed is, I think, less than 28 million. So how could it be possible to pay for so many children? So your funding, half of them come from donation and the corporate, or?
Yeah. Like my company also helping my daughter. Thankfully KMB also helping. If I work with other company, I think I already gonna sack lah.
Okay.
Because it's so that's why some of the money is subsidized by zakat, and of course pharma company also on certain cases they will give their compassionate treatment on case by case basis. So everyone actually is playing their roles, you see. So when the money comes in from government, of course, those on compassionate will switch to the full reimbursement. No? So because they also want to make money. They want to make money because they always say they want to invent a new medication for new type of disease. Because to invent a new drug is always very expensive.
Okay, and then you are the very activist for this society, and you spend a lot of time doing promotion and going overseas to, on this cycling trip and all that. So I think without your contribution, I think the awareness will not be so high. So my personal question for you is that how much time you spend doing this outside your work? Let's say for your trip to all this cycling event to for fundraising per year.
Overseas, normally I didn't go every year one actually. Recently I go to Thailand because Thailand they have this what they call Audax event is an endurance event. Why I fall in love with cycling? Because the journey in rescuing the children is very tough and it's very stressful. But just like when we cycling, then all the stress has been released and also it's balanced up. So the journey, what I call, is very tough because the weather sometimes it's very hot, sometimes it's very cold in the night. There are a lot of challenge. We start right in the woods, in the Banjaran Titiwangsa, with so dark, pitch dark, a lot of challenge actually. So that kind of struggle actually is synchronized with the journey that we are, we have been through. That's why I say, So that's why when we initiated this Right We Hope campaign, is to what they call is to seek the recognition from the public, to support us. Despite the life is very challenging, but we still need to move on. So I think through this kind of cycling event, it's very timely address our journey and our cause.
Okay. So looking at your struggle and also your children, if I'm in your shoe, I'd be very stressed and also maybe depressed. So I want to ask you, your all this trip that you spend overseas on cycling, is it like a respite for you, like a break for you from staying at home? And so there are two stakeholders here. One is your company, so your company must be very kind to you, allowing you to do that. The second one is your wife, So is your wife very happy that you go away for so long? She's the one to take care of the children, and you enjoy yourself and all that. So what is your view about that?
Actually, I already outstation since last Saturday. Last Saturday, I already came to JB and Malacca for 5 days training. Today, I extended one more day for the Ricky ride, for my next event in Kluang. So now in Kluang, so I must go back home today, or else the lock will hit, will took out already. Actually, my wife is very supportive. She's my backbone. She's my backbone, so she did a lot of things, not only taking care of the children, but also for the society. On the account side, she's helping issue out all the receipt. She's also what I call she's my right hand man. She's the woman behind me actually. Without her support, I don't think I can make all these things happen. All right. She's very important. Yeah, that's why I want to say that.
Yeah. So psychologically, how do you overcome all this maybe anger, why it happened to you, and also all this stress? Is it more from the spiritual point of view, or the support from your family and all that?
My eldest daughters now actually is because this disease I have some video if you go to YouTube, you type this what they call there's few video in our MLDA's YouTube channel. If you see how their life becomes so good, very strong, they can walk up the staircase after the ERT. But now my eldest daughter is very weak actually. Sometimes when I see her want to go to the toilet to take bath, move from the toilet bowl, because she's taking a bath on the toilet bowl, From the toilet bowl, want to go to the chair, The chair is those with the 4 wheels. She needs to push herself on the chair that I bought from IKEA. She can slowly do But his muscle keep on degrading, so eventually she will lose her mobility. That will become bedridden. Sometimes when I see her go, she's her neck muscle and waist are all very weak already. She need to use her head to lean on the chair so that she can uplift her body. She's become very weak. So every time when I look at her, I feel very, very sad. Every time I also want to cry. But these are the things that actually the challenge is for me. So actually when I do all this charity work is actually to hope their life become better. But because this disease, as I said, this enzyme is not everything. You still need to do the physiotherapy, But because because when she try to do something but she cannot get the result, That's why this kind of disease is actually quite horrible. It will eat up your confidence day by day. my youngest one, because now she's doing bottom cycling. That's why her hand muscle is very strong. She still can go and swim because initially her condition is the worst, but now because she did a lot of this physiotherapy, all right. Every week we send her for physiotherapy. So now that's why the youngest one still can do swimming. Drug is not everything. Every patient, if they do this physiotherapy, then their life will become better. Right. The moment they stop the physiotherapy, then that is the real challenge which comes to them. That's what I can say.
So I want to ask you, there will come a time when the condition will get worse and the treatment may not work so well. So would you consider stopping treatment and let nature take its course?
Yeah. I mean, some of the children they have this reaction like rashes, the very irregular heartbeat. Then some of the children they decided to stop because to go to the hospital every week also is a very stressful thing, not in the jam. Some of the children they stop, then they just let the nature take its course lah. And yeah, maybe their life expectancy will be shorter, but that's also a choice that we must respect. Yep.
So in medical ethics, there are three principles. One is patient autonomy. So some of these children, when they grow up, they may have a view of how they want to live their life. Assuming that they want to continue on, the other principle of medical ethics is do no harm, which is, I think the medicine is not harming them apart from their financial status. But the last thing that I struggle with when I talk to you is that the justice, the limited resources in our country with a very poor economic situation. If the amount of resources are put into these rare diseases, maybe the cost may not be justifiable, but last few days I've been thinking and thought that these are human life, and maybe you tell me your views, then I'll tell you my views, and I think that it's justified to help them from the public taxpayer point of view. So there are three stakeholders. One is you, of course, you want to help as much as you can. The second is taxpayer, so we have to think whether we use some fund in a very optimal way. And the third one is the government. Government is the gatekeeper. So I want to ask your view. What do you think of this justice of funding this rare disease that cannot be cured and cost so much?
Okay, first thing, every life is precious. You say it's expensive, not worthwhile to help and rescue. Let them die because that child is not your child. If that child is your child, you won't say that. All right, that's the first thing. Second thing is the effort that we put in is never enough. In other countries, they have already established registry. They have this newborn screening because they know newborn screening is very important. In Malaysia, so far we only for newborn baby we only have these three types of disease that they screen. One is G6PD, another one is typhoid, right? Another one I can't remember. Only three. Whereby other countries in our neighboring region, we are very far lag behind. This is not I say one. All the physicians that I know in HKL, UMC, they said, oh, we are very, very far. We are using the Zaman 70s, 60s technology, We are not, at the moment, we don't do this newborn screening. That means we are not tagging them, where they are. That means when you're not tagging them, you cannot control. When you cannot control, you are out of control. You end up paying more because it's already out of control. The population with this, they are already there. They'll grow and grow. I mean, ended up you had to fork out more money to pay for their treatment. But if we break recognize them, we control them, then eventually we will reduce the cost. I think that is very important. So now we are really hoping, but the newborn screening, the spectrometry tandem mesh has been sleeping for so many years. 10 years ago in Taiwan, the physician there know that we have this 1 million of machines, but it's sleeping, it's not using. So it's very sad to say that, but this is all the true things. We are not doing it. What can we do, But we can do so little only. The moment we left out this, it's very difficult. So in other countries, like they even screen for POMPE disease, LSD disease also they screen, right? We know because the patient, the NGO they advocate to put in the list. We are not asking government to do 40 types. At least you start with the top 10 or top 20. The rare disease, IEM disease, which is more prominent, at least you can save life already. Even the PKU has the screening for PKU has been there since 1950. US already do it. That's why they have this newborn screening. PKU is very common, but we are not doing it. So we don't talk about LSD. So why are we not doing it? I don't understand. So if you ask me, I mean, a life is a life, A life is life, no matter how small it is, and it really creates impact, The moment if our child is being neglected, there's no hope, When there's no hope, then what's the point of us to live? But at least in our country, we are really appreciate our government is still helping all these children. We hope more support will be given, and we can do more for these children. We hope for a better future.
Okay, so let me conclude. I just want to answer my question about this justice, and after contemplating, and I was thinking that the amount of money that was given to you, when you look from superficially, you think it's a lot, but actually it's not a lot. And with the principle of medical profession and ethics of helping patients, I changed my view, and I think that even though they are rare disease and they should be helped. The reason is because there are so many things that the government spend on, like all these bombastic buildings and all that they spend billions, So this is nothing compared to this human life that you can save, and with this type of views, it's not just rare diseases. There are so many diseases that I think our Ministry of Health are not given the right allocation to help more Malaysian. So what I heard today is that I also understand that the ELT is not the only solution. It must be a multidisciplinary thing with physiotherapy, occupational therapy. So that should be a big part of caring for these rare disease children. So with that, I will conclude and end this seminar. Is there anything else you want to tell our medical audience?
Okay, I hope all the doctors here can support all the rare disease patients in Malaysia, regardless what type of disease. Even though their disease could be multi-millions, please support them because if we are not helping them, the children, the society will recall that particular family will collapse. You'll be creating a lot of this social issue, which the impact will be even greater. Will be greater because one family, when they are neglected, I mean it could be other family also being neglected. Instead of please, we need your help to support them. If you need to write a letter to get the medication, please help them. I'm not talking only for LSD. LSD is the journey is like breaking the wind. When we talk about cycling, in the peloton, we are breaking the wind. We hope more disease, more children with other diseases, when they have this new treatment, they can get access also. So we hope more patients will be benefited when our system has been established. Of course, with more empowerment, more knowledge sharing, we hope more the advanced the diagnosis could be done by all the doctors, with more accurate and faster. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lee. And I want to thank the audience who are on the live audience at the moment. There's about 150 of you. Thank you for attending, and I hope that you all learn something and take some action. Okay, thank you.